Here we go! Okay, the game starts and we have the third King of the Hill of StarCraft World IT powered by CM Storm. DarKFoRcE was able to defeat Kaz, he was able to defeat Grubby, and now he is facing SaSe in this best of 5. The winner takes home €100, and DarKFoRcE is spawning on Metalopolis at the left side of the map. He's starting at the 9 o'clock start position, whereas SaSe is spawning close air position to him. He's spawning on the right side of the Zerg play, spawning at the 6 o'clock start position, immediately starting off with his pylon on 9 supply and starting to scout. Obviously, he's going to scout to the left with his probe as he's pretty aware of the situation. He knows that on this version of the map you can't spawn on close position, and in the meantime we have the Zerg player scouting as well. The Overlord is being sent to the close air position and he will be aware of the starting position of his opponent within a second. Let's have a look at the opening of DarKFoRcE right now. He's just droning up. I expect we will see an early pool. We'll see a 5th gas and pool. Here it comes, 14 gas, and the pool will follow fairly soon. And once again, the thing against Protoss is always that it's kinda risky to start with the hatch first, because it can be easily countered by a Protoss player, especially if the Protoss is going for a forge first play, starts to cannon rush you. It's pretty dangerous, so most Zerg players tend to go for the safe build. They tend to go for the hatchery and the pool, but we are missing the pool right now, don't we? No, here we go. There it is, up there. And in the meantime, SaSe has taken his first gas, is about to take his first gas. He has still the Overlord hovering on top of his base. And of course the gateway is about to be done as well. Okay, so let's just see what SaSe is going to do, what kind of opening SaSe chooses against the Zerg player. And I'm pretty sure that he has been studying the games of Grubby against DarKFoRcE just to get a basic idea of what DarKFoRcE was playing on each map. It's €100 for a best of 5, so that's quite a lot. And thanks again to CM Storm and of course to StarCraft World.IT for bringing us this event. We have the Cybernetics core being warped in and the first queen being built for DarKFoRcE as soon as the spawning pool is finished. He obviously went for the fast speed. He pulled the drones off gas as soon as he reached the 100 gas and is going to get an expansion pretty soon probably. The probe of SaSe is just trying to block the natural, but as soon as the Zerglings are out, that's basically a pointless endeavor. And here we go, the probe is just trying to run back into the safety of the Protoss base, and here comes the drone for DarKFoRcE, getting that hatchery up and running. Here we go, and let's have a look at the Protoss play. He's on 2 gas right now, going for another pylon, and we see the first sentry. So everything looks like SaSe is going to do that 3-gate expansion opening that we're used to see from Protoss players in this situation. Here comes the second gateway right now. The probe actually escapes the Zergling and is now harvesting minerals as well, while DarKFoRcE is scouting with his Zergling. I like that quite a lot. If you're a Zerg player and you're facing a Protoss, actually doesn't matter if you're a Zerg or if you're Terran, you should always just make sure that you scout your opponent, that you scout the surroundings of your base and all those spots where a potential pylon of the Protoss player could be built, that you just make sure that nothing fishy is happening. We have the pylon of SaSe at the bottom of the ramp, so that's pretty much what we expected when we saw that opening. And as you can see, he's not going for the 3-gate expansion, he's actually going for a 2-gate expand. This is kind of risky. Hazops lost to that opening when he was playing, lost with this opening when he was playing X-Lord in a best of 5 in Germany, because he couldn't have enough units without that 3rd gateway to protect his nexus. And here comes the 3rd gateway for SaSe. It's kind of risky, but on the other hand, we have DarKFoRcE droning up. He has a lot of drones by now. He's on 28 against 27 probe supplies, harvester supplies so far. And we have the hallucination being researched for SaSe as well. This is kind of important. If you're a Protoss player and you're opening with a 3 or with a 2-gate expansion, you always want to get that hallucination upgrade, because you need something to scout your opponent. You need something to scout if he's going Mutalisk or what he's doing. And if you actually try to get robotics and an observer, then you will be too late if your opponent is going straight for Mutalisks. You will be too late, and you won't be able to defend against it. So getting that hallucination upgrade is a pretty smart move. Nearly every Protoss player does it nowadays, just to get a glimpse of what's happening in the main base of his opponent and to get a rough idea of what he will be facing in the mid game. DarKFoRcE is still on 1 gas. He's right now relying on his he has 1 evolution chamber already up, and he's going for a Roach Warren. Is researching the +1 attack upgrade, is getting the 3rd base already, and just placing down a spine crawler as well. So right now he's on a lot of drones. Here is the hallucination that I was talking about, just trying to scout a little bit. And will he scout the 3rd base? Doesn't look like it. Here we go. So SaSe rerouting the Phoenix and is now aware of the 3rd base as well. Moving out with those stalkers as well as the sentries. We have a lot of sentries in the mix. There's 5 in total, and behind there is 1 probe. And what is DarKFoRcE doing? DarKFoRcE is now actually trying to get some units out on the field. He knows about the potential push of his opponent and is getting roaches and zerglings. The +1 attack upgrade is not done just yet, and we have a forge being placed by SaSe in his main base, an offensive pylon as well. But DarKFoRcE already has quite a lot of units. I mean, there are 5 sentries in the mix, but still, there are roaches on the way. More roaches are being built, and we have the zerglings also in the mix of the Zerg player. And here it comes immediately. The force fields are being placed by the Protoss, but SaSe is losing the first two sentries, and he is in quite a lot of trouble right now. He has a really big problem defending against this attack of the Zerg player. He won't be able to do any damage at all. He was just barely able to kill some of the Zerglings, but still he lost his whole army, all those sentries, which was a huge blow to SaSe's army value. And of course the Stalkers died as well. The expansion is up and running though, so he has expansion right now. He's on 4 gates. Let me have another look. Yeah, he's swapping in 2 additional ones, so he will be on 6 gates in a second, but he doesn't have any tech at all. He's just relying on those gateway units. He's on 69 supply against 84, and DarKFoRcE is in a pretty good position right now. He's teching to his lair tech. He already got gas number 2, gas number 3, and number 4, so he's on a lot of gas now. He can't just invest all this gas into upgrades. He's doing this exactly, yeah. Right now, he's going for the +1 attack upgrade for his ranged units, for his roaches to be for his roaches in particular. And in the meantime, we have SaSe also with this chrono boost on the forge. He's trying to get this upgrade for the weapons +1 upgrade, and we also see the robotics facility now for the Protoss player trying to get some tech units, and he also adds a Twilight Council, probably going to research Blink as soon as possible, adding additional sentries as well. And let's have a look at the supply counts. 27 army supply against 32. We have 17 workers for 70 worker supply for DarKFoRcE against 56. Always keep in mind that the queens are actually added to the worker supply, so we shouldn't forget about that. The roach speed is being researched for DarKFoRcE. His creep spread is kind of nice so far. He's in the 11th minute. Not the best creep spread I've seen. I've seen him doing a lot better, but still he's spreading his creep. His he has 2 or 3 active tumors. We have a Hydra Den in his main base already. He's getting the Ventral Sac upgrade in order to be able to drop as well as the Overlord speed. Makes kind of sense if you watch the position of the bases. We are in close air position, so he will be able to drop the main base of his opponent. SaSe is trying to get his 3rd base up and running, but we also have one of the Zerglings of DarKFoRcE already scouting the whole thing, and of course attacking the Nexus. And right now SaSe is retreating. He's kind of in a bad spot at the moment. He's behind in with 30 supply. He lost the initiative when he lost his army, and it's always a little bit risky. Well, not risky, but as a Protoss player you are very often kind of an uncomfortable situation if you go for that expansion play, because you play kind of defensive, and you really have to be certain about the timing to use when to push out, and SaSe lost his whole army when he was pushing out. So from that point in time on, he was really behind. He's trying to get Colossus into the mix right now, adding that robotics bay, and will research, of course, the extended thermal lens upgrade fairly soon. The second robotics bay is being built as well, and SaSe now on 117 supply is building his first Colossus. DarKFoRcE, on the other hand, is relying on roaches. He's relying on roaches and Hydralisks. He's getting the grooved spines upgrade for his Hydras as well, and also researching the Zerg +2 melee attack upgrade. So yeah, those will be able to deal yeah, a fair amount of damage. I suppose that he's trying to drop his opponent while attacking. He's getting the gold expansion now. He's in a really good position. His army is pretty strong. He has a good economy going, so he will be able to attack as fast as possible. Right now we have the Protoss player just trying to get those Stalkers into the mix, and in the meantime we have the pylon being built. Yep, another pylon at the ramp, so the wall in will be completed pretty soon, but maybe not in time, as right now the Zerg player is just pushing out. The roaches are on their way, and the Hydralisk as well. Roach Hydra combination and a lot of Zerglings as well. And here comes the drop by DarKFoRcE. Very, very smart. He is ignoring the defenses of his opponents, dropping directly into the main base of SaSe, and I don't think that SaSe will be able to defend. He will lose a lot. He's losing the Twilight Council, the robotics facility as well, all those pylons. Oh my god, here are the force fields, but the Colossi are in a really bad spot, immediately dying. Where's the micro, for Christ's sake? At the same time, there's another fight going on at the expansion. All those Zerglings streaming in, killing the economy of SaSe, and DarKFoRcE is basically annihilating the Protoss player. I don't think that, yes, we will see GG any second. There it is. The first game goes to DarKFoRcE. He's taking the lead in this best of 5 against SaSe. Game number 2, SaSe against DarKFoRcE. StarCraft World IT best of 5. The king of the hill, powered by SaSe. It's second game between those two players. Another Zerg versus Protoss, and we are on a crossfire. A map that is not what you want to play if you're a Zerg player. You don't want to play that map at all. It's probably one of the worst maps that you can actually play on if you are a Zerg and you're facing a Terran or a Protoss player. And yeah, we will talk about the map in a second. Just now, let's focus on the starting positions. We have DarKFoRcE at the bottom left and his opponent at the top right. So SaSe is starting in red this time. And if you look at the map, we are starting in the base of DarKFoRcE. There's a small ramp that you can defend quite easily, so that isn't a problem at all. You have your expansion right here, and as you can see, everywhere on this map there are choke points, and there's high ground and all that shit, and there are just a lot of bottlenecks and high grounds, choke points, whatever, and you can really block them quite well if you use force fields. As a Protoss player, you can always walk up those high grounds with your Colossi and just blink with the Stalkers. You are very mobile with the Protoss army on this map, or you can just try to get into a good position, wait until the Zerg player tries to attack you, split his army with the force fields, and then pick off all those army parts. So this is really a map that you don't want to play if you're a Zerg, and I'm not too sure what DarKFoRcE is going to do on this map. I've seen him play on this map against Cruncher, and I wasn't really all that impressed because he was just trying to attack into positions where he had no chance of winning at all. Maybe with this Mutalisk style he will be a bit more successful on a map like this, but let's not get ahead of ourselves and just focus on what he's doing right now. He's once again going for the 14-14 build. He's with the spawning pool is in production. He's waiting for the 100 gas, and after that he will probably just pull off the drone gas once again and focus on his expansion. We have one probe in the main base of his opponent, blocking the spot for the cybernetics core. Not long enough though, at least trying to block it, but DarKFoRcE has to retreat with that drone. Should steal the gas, can steal the gas, because SaSe is already about to take it. That's always a good thing to do. If you can steal the gas when you are facing a Protoss player or a Terran player, that's always a good thing to do. You should definitely do that, because you can make sure that you won't be attacked by any early air units, for example, any early mech build, whatever. So stealing gas is always a nice thing to do. And let's have a look. What is DarKFoRcE doing? Just setting some links up to his opponent, getting his expansion. The drone's already on its way. Here we go. A hatchery being built. The main base we still have, in the main base of SaSe, we still have DarKFoRcE's drone, just scouting a little bit, having a good time, just chilling. And yeah, well, it better should, because it won't live that long, so makes sense. And yep, is able to retreat. Nice. So using the drone drill and just retreating. The first sentry is out for SaSe. He's actually researching his warp gate ability right now and getting another sentry. So look in his main base. Where are the additional warp gates? Here we go. Twilight Council. Woohoo! This is exactly why you should block gas. This is exactly why you should get gas. Now here we see the pylon, and SaSe is making sure that DarKFoRcE still thinks he is going for an expansion, that he's going for the same play that he used on the last map, the 3 or 2 gate expansion, while SaSe is just trying to get his Dark Templars. Well, is he? Actually, right now he's getting another sentry. I was thinking, well, let's have a look what he's doing. I was rather of the assumption that he was going to cut the sentry production and go for a Dark Templar Shrine instead, but which he didn't do. So let's just wait a bit what he's going to do with that Twilight Council. On the here comes the Dark Shrine. Okay, did he build that 3rd sentry? No, he cancelled it. Okay, cancel the 3rd sentry. Here we go. So I was right. I was a little bit confused when he started the 3rd sentry. I was like, hey, why the hell is he wasting another 100 gas if he plans to go DTs? But he's adding that gateway, so that's actually pretty smart. The gateway only costs him a little bit of minerals, which he can use, and DarKFoRcE might be in some trouble if those DTs are able to sneak into the main base of the Zerg player. But there's already an evolution chamber up, so if DarKFoRcE is able to react and build spore crawlers, then SaSe's attack won't be all too successful. And the Zerg player is expanding again. He already has the Evo chamber up, +1 attack upgrade is coming once again. We have the Roach Warren, and at the bottom right of the map, DarKFoRcE is trying to get a 3rd base as well. So we see another base, but the Zerg player trying to play 3 bases because he knows his opponent is expanding it as well. You always want to stay ahead in expansions. If you're a Zerg player facing a Protoss or a Terran player, you always want to have the upper edge when it comes down to your economy. And right now we see one Zealot of SaSe just getting annihilated by those Zerglings. And where are the Dark Templars? Here we go. And will DarKFoRcE see them? I mean, if you look closely, yes, he knows about it. He just saw them. He saw them move and is immediately building spore crawlers. Those spore crawlers will be up in time. I'm sure about it, and therefore it won't be a problem at all for the Zerg player to defend against that Dark Templar push of his opponent, and SaSe will be in deep shit, to be honest. Here we go. The first DT is down. The second one is attacking that 3rd base, which is actually kind of smart. So by this, he will at least be able to take that 3rd base out, because there's no way that DarKFoRcE is actually building a spore crawler right at the other side of the Dark Templar without SaSe noticing. So that hatchery will probably fall, but still it doesn't matter. He didn't do all too much damage. His expansion is kind of delayed, and he is now pretty far behind. All that gas that he used on the Dark Shrine, on the DTs themselves, and on that early Twilight Council are basically wasted. But here comes the Overseer as well, so the hatchery isn't even being killed, but one Archon being morphed, and that might be a bigger issue, because those Archons deal a lot of damage, to Zerglings. Oh, and the hatch goes down. Oh, that was a close one. That was a really close one. Thank God SaSe built that pylon. Without that pylon, he wouldn't have been able to warp in the last Dark Templar, and then he wouldn't have been able to kill that expansion, and the game would already have been over. He's still behind, don't get me wrong, but with a cancel or with a kill of that hatchery, he still has a fighting chance in this game, which obviously is kind of good for us. But I'm really impressed by DarKFoRcE's play. He noticed, okay, Well, I'm actually not too sure if you really noticed that something was going, or was kind of yeah, well, kind of fishy, or if he just got a lucky scout when he took possession of the Xel'Naga watchtower in the middle of the map with that Zergling, and just saw, yeah, well, by some lucky coincidence, those DTs move. But still, he defended very, very well against it, and yeah, I think that SaSe is a little bit pissed about that. He probably thought that he could deal a lot more damage with his attack. Still, it's Crossfire. It's a really shitty map for Zerg, so let's see what DarKFoRcE is doing now, because he's going for Roaches, and I'm not too sure if Roaches are really the best option to choose if you're playing that map. Of course, if you're playing against the Protoss player, what you want to do is you want to attack on, well, you want to maneuver yourself into a good position, and DarKFoRcE is scouting a lot, which I like quite a lot as well, because we have the Nexus being scouted by DarKFoRcE immediately. But as you can see, those force fields, all those bottlenecks, the force fields are really, really strong on this map, and if you have Colossus in the mix later on as well, then the Zerg has a really hard time. Right now, DarKFoRcE has the upper hand because SaSe was wasting a lot on that DT tech, and if you ask me, then SaSe shouldn't, well, he shouldn't neglect those DTs altogether. He should use them later on in his army mix as well, and force DarKFoRcE to take some overseers with him as well. But now the Zerg player is attacking this expansion attempt of his opponent, killing that pylon, sniping the Nexus as well, and the units of SaSe are just trying to pick up the occasional Roach. We have 54 army supply for DarKFoRcE, 33 for SaSe, but he has Blink, and it's always, yeah, well placed force fields, but still not good enough, and all those sentries are caught in a wrong position as well. And finally, we have an observer, so the burrow won't be enough for DarKFoRcE to rescue his Roaches. And SaSe is actually dealing a good amount of damage with all those units. Blink Stalkers are really, really strong. They already have the +1 attack upgrade. As you can see, there are additional Dark Templars. That's exactly what I was talking about. Keeping some Dark Templars around just to be able to attack the Zerg player, to force him to constantly produce either Spore Crawlers or Overseers. And this is a very smart play by SaSe in this position. On the other hand, DarKFoRcE is on 130 supply against 100. He's getting Hydralisks once again and researching the Zerg missile attack upgrade number 2. We have an Archon being morphed as well, and once again we see just all those units at the choke point. There are no sentries in the mix of SaSe though, and here comes the Zerg player just moving in. The Archon is already down. SaSe trying to blink as much as possible, but I don't think there are enough Stalkers. Oh, is SaSe here really getting the upper hand? We have all those Hydralisks being defended by the Roaches. SaSe trying to use Blink to his maximum potential, but it still has to retreat. He was able to deal a huge amount of damage, though, to the army of the Zerg player. I was quite impressed by that. The micro of SaSe is really, really good. He should rescue those Stalkers by blinking once again, though, and is doing exactly that right now, trying to get his third base once again. We see that Overlord in position already. DarKFoRcE is trying to prevent the expansion by spreading his creep, but he's too late for that. The Nexus is already up, and DarKFoRcE trying to get his third base as well. So things are looking a lot better for SaSe right now. He is really able to pull through and has a decent amount of Stalkers, and Stalkers with Blink are just so annoying, especially if your opponent has good micro. But he has to be careful about what he's doing. He was caught in a really bad position right there, and should try to retreat. Maybe even get a second forge in order to get additional upgrades. He's not going, as you can see, he's not trying to get any Colossi right now. So I think he wouldn't make a huge mistake by getting just a second forge in order to get some additional upgrades. He's already on 2 attack upgrades, but still, second forge would do him some good, and he has enough gas and minerals to support it. We have all those Dark Templar, and DarKFoRcE actually really smart. He has 3 observers, overseers in the mix, and now SaSe has to blink. He really has to use his blink micro. If he doesn't, he will die from 2 sides. The Protoss player is just trying to sandwich the Zerg forces, and he is killing everything. He's killing all those Roaches, killing the Hydralisks as well. SaSe in a really good position right now, although he's still behind in supply, but he has to be a little more careful about his units. He's warping in a huge amount of Stalkers right now, and will try to blink after those Zerg forces, and he will be able to take them out. I mean, look at all those Stalkers, but where's the blink micro? SaSe, what the hell are you doing? and he just doesn't care. Actually saving some of those Stalkers with some amazing blings with only H80p. We have the +3 attack upgrade being researched by SaSe, getting a 4th base. He's getting a 4th base. If at the gold expansion, if he gets ahead in economy as well, then DarKFoRcE will be in deep shit. We have 54 worker supply for DarKFoRcE against 71 for his opponent, and I actually don't know what DarKFoRcE is doing. He should have more drones, but he doesn't. He only has about 27 drones at each base, which is alright if you play 2 base. Sorry, he has 3 bases now, so 54 drones is definitely not enough. If you have 26, 27 drones at each base, that's kind of okayish, but still, as you can see, SaSe is attacking at two places on the map once again, trying to put some pressure on this expansion, maybe snipe just some of them drones, and in the meantime having another force attacking the natural expansion of his opponent. We have the infestation pit up and pathogen glands being researched in the main base of DarKFoRcE. He already has attack upgrade number 2 for his roaches. He has the +1 attack upgrade for the zerglings. He has the armor upgrade number 1 as well. But yeah, well, what can I say? The pros player is just way ahead. I mean, just have a look at that. He will be on +3 attack in only in about a minute, half a minute, and he has 31 Stalkers. 31 Stalkers with +3 attack is a lot, but now 15 roaches are being built. But SaSe is ahead in supply. He's ahead in supply with a 10 supply right now, 152 against, oh no, DarKFoRcE is building additional infestors, so it's pretty even. Supply count is pretty even, and DarKFoRcE is actually ahead with his army supply because he doesn't have that many workers right now, 62, so roughly 20 at each base. And well, the expansions of SaSe are fairly safe as well, and SaSe just occupying that point, that choke point, that ramp, and this is a really smart thing to do. He knows he has a better economy, he knows he has this natural expansion, and therefore he's in a really good position, and well, DarKFoRcE is the one who actually has to do something. SaSe can just wait here. He can just wait and chill, get his army. Now he's getting Colossi as well. He's getting the external thermal lance upgrade, armor upgrades. So he's in a really, really good position. And here come a lot of chainlings. Just running in there. And now SaSe seems to be confused. The fungal! Oh, no more blink for SaSe. And this hurts a lot. All those Stalkers is dying, but the pros player retreating and placing a beautiful force field to save his forces. Very, very well done. But, well, a lot of Colossi are on their way. We still have those Stalkers. The +1 armor upgrade is halfway done as well. 160 supply against 166. But have a look at those army supply numbers. 114 against 82. And DarKFoRcE is on his way with a beautiful unit mix. He has roaches, he has hydralisks and infestors as well. And the only thing that SaSe is controlling right now are those 37 Stalkers and 3 Colossi that will be countered by that neuroparasite if it's done. And I'm not actually sure. Yeah, he's trying to defend against that force, but have a look at those beautiful fungal growth. Where's the next one? There's no more infestor. One infestor with enough energy. Not in range though. Here comes the next fungal, and DarKFoRcE actually killing a lot of units, but still there are more and more Stalkers just streaming in. We have Colossi, and DarKFoRcE is calling GG after he's losing his army. SaSe on 2,000 minerals and 1,000 gas. His economy was just too good, and after losing that army, DarKFoRcE realized that he couldn't win that game anymore. Very well played by both players. Really nice comeback by SaSe in the second game of the King of the Hill. Party time! DarKFoRcE against SaSe, game number 3. The series is tied by now. We have the third game of the StarCraft World IT powered by Storm, and it's Crab Station. SaSe not too happy about the map. It was DarKFoRcE's choice after losing on Crossfire, and as DarKFoRcE pointed out to his opponent, Crossfire is not the best Zerg mech either. I was quite impressed by SaSe's play on the last map. I didn't think that he would be able to come back from that Dark Templar play after it failed so miserably, but still he was able to take out that expansion of DarKFoRcE at the bottom right of the map, so he was at least able to deal some damage. But the sneaky play of SaSe was kind of nice to watch, just trying to make his opponent believe he's going straight for the 3-gate expansion, and then switching it up a little bit, getting that Twilight Council and the Dark Shrine, sending some DTs over to his opponent, and in the meantime just going back to that standard play and getting the expansion anyways. That was kind of nice, and even though it didn't turn out that well for SaSe, but he was able to pull through, he was able to win the game after all with some nice blink micro. And DarKFoRcE is now starting at the left position on scrap station, getting his gas at 14 once again, while his opponent is just trying to, yeah, kind of close that white ramp. That's one of the main problems if you're a Terran or a Protoss player and you're facing a Zerg on this map. The wall in is always a little bit risky. The ground distances on this map are really, really huge. So this is one thing you should keep in mind when you're a Zerg. You can't just simply rush your opponent with the 6 or with the 7 pool and think that you have a guaranteed win because of the big wide open ramp. Because the second pylon is usually placed in the wall in as well, as SaSe is doing right now, so he will be able to close the whole thing with his Cybernetics core and one Zealot as he used to. But DarKFoRcE isn't trying to cheese him or anything like that. The map is still in his favor, so he's going for the spawning pool for a pretty standard build, and he already has one Overlord in position at exactly this spot. This is kind of important because on the one hand you can't just scout if your opponent is attacking you, and the other thing is that Protoss really likes to get a pylon just over here somewhere. Just get a pylon somewhere in this area to warp in additional units, so that probe even might even go to the top of that cliff and have a look if it's possible to place a pylon up there without being seen. The wall in the meantime for SaSe is closed, no problem. Over there we have the research warp grade Chrono Boost right now, and of course the Zealot. In the meantime, the DarKFoRcE is just retreating with his Overlord. He saw everything he needed to know, just had a look into the main base of his opponent, knows about the second gas as well. Nothing special going on so far for the Protoss player, and DarKFoRcE now scouting with his Zerglings, getting possession of the Xlanaka Watchtower, just making sure that SaSe is not trying to sneak in a gold expansion, which has happened in the past, so it's better safe than sorry. And we have another patchery being built for DarKFoRcE. The Zerg player from Germany just going for his second base as he did the last 2 games, just trying to play basically the same build. He's going for drones once again. The first queen is out already, second one on its way. Once again he pulled off the drones from his gas as soon as he had the 100. Is now, after his speed got finished, just putting 3 of them back on gas. And we have SaSe with an expansion attempt on his own. He's trying to get this Nexus up and running. And he's playing with a Stargate. 1 Stargate coming up for the Protoss player. Yeah, let's have a look at that. Usually what Protoss tends to do if they play with the Stargate, they just get out 1 Void Ray, want to get 1 Void Ray, and they're actually, basically you can get 1 Void Ray and that's about it, and just attack with the Void Ray, hope you deal some damage or annoy your opponent just a little bit. On the other thing is you can get a Void Ray and follow up with 1 or 2, probably 2 up to 3 Phoenixes, and just use those Phoenixes to lift off the queens, kill them with the Void Ray and additional Phoenixes, and you can deal a lot of damage if your opponent isn't preparing for it in any kind of way. Let's have a look what SaSe decides to do. He has enough minerals now for the Void Ray. Yes, here we go. Void Ray being chrono boosted and rallied towards the main base of his opponent. So the Void Ray might even be able to take out that queen. I'm pretty sure that he will get some reinforcements, being 1 or 2 Phoenixes, and DarKFoRcE just trying to have a look at what's happening, scouting with the Zergling just a little bit, seeing that wall off by the Protoss player, and of course there are sentries once again. The Void Ray is about to be done, and let's have a look what is DarKFoRcE actually doing. He has 2 queens, he has his evolution chamber up, so he will be able to get Spore Crawlers. Lair is done as well, getting the second gas, getting the 3 gas at the same time, and researching Burrow. He knows about this expansion, and the Void Ray isn't a mystery anymore, because that Overlord sacrificed himself. He was a small emo lord, just died for the cause. And yeah, well, so DarKFoRcE is pretty aware of what's happening, getting that third queen and creep tumor spore crawler, sorry. So yeah, well, we don't see any Phoenix play. We see that one single Void Ray, and that's about it. And the Void Ray already has to retreat, just chasing Overlords, trying to kill at least a couple of units. We have one Overlord dead already, and 2 drones as well. And DarKFoRcE getting a third base. Getting his third base, once again, relying on the same unit combination he used in the last 2 games. He's relying on his Roach Warren. He's getting a Hydralisk Den. Has enough. Is he getting the speed for the Roaches? Not just yet. He has enough and gas and has enough minerals, but isn't producing any Roaches whatsoever. And he's getting the Grooved Spine upgrade though, and the +1 attack upgrade for his ranged units. And at his expansion, let's just have a look, glimpse at the worker supply. 56 for DarKFoRcE against 47 for his opponent. And what is SaSe doing? SaSe is sitting in front of his base. He's waiting for his robotics facility to be ready. Sorry, for the robotics bay, so he can get those Colossi. The first one is being built right now. We have a Chrono Boost being used as well, and the +1 attack upgrade. Whereas, yeah, well, DarKFoRcE is going for Overlord speed once again, and we don't have any Roaches on there, only Hydralisks. So, well, DarKFoRcE might just try to get that Overlords. Here come the Roaches. Here are the Roaches, 1 Overseer as well, and of course a lot of drones in order to support that third base as well. And SaSe is aware about the expansion attempt of his opponent. Might be able to kill a decent amount of units. What about his opponent? There are the force fields, and as you can see, that Overseer was able to spot the Observer, but still, the hatchery will probably die. Yes, it will. So the base is down. Very, very well done by SaSe. Nice attack nice timing of that attack. So this was really, really well done by him. And he probably shouldn't try to fight against those forces up there, but he still has enough energy on his sentries in order to place down those force fields that safely allow him to retreat. Yeah, pretty nice timing. Really like that quite a lot. DarKFoRcE probably didn't. +2 attack upgrade for the ranged units is on its way. The next few Roaches are being built as well. And in the meantime, let's have another look in the main base. There is a second Stargate coming up. Second Stargate. Now we see Glial Reconstitution, the speed upgrade for the Roaches, a Spire being built. And this is kind of interesting. Second Stargate. This looks like a lot of Void Rays are coming up, but he won't be able to support that if he's only on 2 bases. Not if he wants to keep up his Colossi production. He needs another base if he wants to do that, because right now he simply doesn't have enough gas. And he's getting Immortals as well to deal with those Roaches, the +1 armor upgrade. So I'm kind of curious what he wants to do with those Stargates. This will be quite interesting. And DarKFoRcE obviously trying to get that third base up and running. He's trying to get the third base, and here comes the expansion for SaSe. So that makes a lot more sense right now. The Overlord is just having a look at what's happening. Maybe he can even fool SaSe into retreating with some of his drones, but there's no Baneley drop going on. SaSe is well, kind of aware of that. This wouldn't happen that fast. Let's have another look at the base of SaSe, at the production buildings. He has 2, 4, 6, 7. No, 7, 6. 6 gates, and is trying to attack once again. The force fields, very, very well placed. Those Colossi are dealing a lot of damage to those ranged units of the Zerg player. And DarKFoRcE is on the same supply as SaSe is right now, but he's losing so many units. There's still the sentries, and now all the sentries are dead, but the Stalker reinforcements already joined the surviving units of SaSe, and SaSe is in a perfect position to win this game, and he does. He's killing the third base. He's walking towards the third base, and DarKFoRcE leaves the game, and he is behind in this best of 5 series with 2-1. Here we go, game number 4, DarKFoRcE facing SaSe once again. Oh, and a misclick by DarKFoRcE right there. And I lose a little bit of mining time, not too much though. We are still in the best of 5 of the King of the Hill of StarCraft World IT powered by CM Storm, and DarKFoRcE lost the last 2 games. He actually won game number 1 today. He lost to he lost the 2 games, the first 2 games to Cass, and the first King of the Hill was still able to defeat him 3-2. He lost the first games to Grubby, and the second King of the Hill still beat him with 3-2. And now, after winning the first map in this match against SaSe, he is behind and has to win this match if he wants to stay the King of the Hill, if he wants to win that €100 and tie the series with SaSe, forcing a 5th game. So this is really, really important for DarKFoRcE right now. And yeah, the main thing is, what is he going to do? He's starting at the bottom right of the map, Shakura's Plateau. At the top left, we see SaSe, and SaSe will have the opportunity to get a really, really early second base. As you can see, he decided to build that pylon on top of the choke. We've seen a lot of Protoss players playing with a Forge first build on Shakura's Plateau, just trying to wall off at this huge ramp at the bottom and getting access to the second base really fast. But SaSe is playing it kind of safe. He's going for that wall in at the top of the small ramp, and after that he will certainly take his expansion. He's playing it rather safe, which I kind of like, but still DarKFoRcE is relying on his strategy once again, at least on his opening once again. He's just now waiting to get those 100 minerals, and we already see that spawning pool in production. The probe stealing a little bit of minerals, small little dirty thief, and now retreating, whereas DarKFoRcE is just scouting the main base of his opponent as well, just getting in there with his drone. As soon as the gateway finishes, sees the 1 gas, might try to steal the second one. We'll see about that. Yeah, but still, DarKFoRcE will get an expansion once again. SaSe will get one as well, because on Shakura's Plateau those expansions are really so easy to defend. But yeah, you can still play on this map, for example, with Mutalisks. Most Zerg players decide to go for a play with roaches once again, and we haven't seen DarKFoRcE use any corruptors at all so far. So even though SaSe was trying to deal damage with those Colossi, he didn't try to counter them all that well. He was relying a lot on his Roach Hydra combination, and I'm not too sure if that's the best weapon of choice if you're facing a player like SaSe, because those force fields of the Swedish player were just way too good, and DarKFoRcE wasn't able to attack with this whole army. Maybe even get that burrow movement, so that the tunneling clause, so that he can try to dodge the force fields. But well, it's a little bit pointless to speculate like that. We'll just have to have a look what DarKFoRcE decides to do. He's getting his expansion now, so basically exactly what we expected him to do. Nothing else he can do on his map besides some kind of roach circling all in, which is kind of pointless if your opponent is not trying to get that second base by a wall off at this choke. So yeah, well, not really pointless, but that is just way too easy to defend, so shouldn't do that. And SaSe is preparing for his expansion. He's preparing for his expansion, placing that pylon. DarKFoRcE with a speed done. The Zergling is just racing up the ramp, having a peek and scouting that pylon. Here comes the Nexus, and of course DarKFoRcE will scout that fairly soon as well. Let's have a look at what DarKFoRcE is doing in his main base. He's taking care of his hatchery, is injecting lava once again, still has no drones on gas so far, and is spreading the creep between his 2 bases. Like that a lot. And here we see the second queen might just want to get another creep tumor to spread the creep down the ramp. And DarKFoRcE with 1 Zergling in position at the bottom of the ramp. 2 additional Zerglings took the Xalnaga watchtower, so he is aware of everything that is coming through the middle of the map, and taking a 3rd base. So he's trying to counter the base of his opponent, the second base of his opponent, the expansion with a 3rd base as well, and trying to get the upper hand in economy. While SaSe is now building those 2 gateways, he's getting that pylon in order to close off the wall in, and has enough sentries to deal with any incoming attack, being it roaches, being it banelings. It doesn't really matter. Those sentries will be able to just defeat it, to make sure that nothing comes up this ramp. Another play that you can use on a map like this, in a situation like this, is you can try to play with Nidus Worms, for example, but it's always kind of risky, because if your opponent is actually doing a good job with placing buildings at the surroundings of his base, he will scout the Nidus Worm, and it's kind of an all-Danish tactic. But as you can see, there are a lot of places where you could actually place a Nidus Worm, for example in the back right there. So we have one Overlord of DarKFoRcE scouting, and just wants to get a glimpse of what's happening if his opponent is going for a Dark Shrine again, if there's a Twilight Council somewhere, maybe a Stargate, a Robotics, whatever, and DarKFoRcE just sees that he doesn't see anything. So here we have hallucinations. We explained in the game on Metalopolis already that hallucinations are really the way to go if you are using that kind of opening as a Protoss player. So he's doing that once again. And the Forge is coming. The Forge is being built. Forge for SaSe. SaSe taking possession of the Sri Watchtower. Well, not really, but just making sure that the Zerg doesn't own them anymore. And immediately DarKFoRcE is sneaking in another Zergling. So here it comes, the attack on the third base, and he has to be careful. Yes, that's actually very, very smart, moving out with all those Zerglings. And he shouldn't fight at that position. Please retreat. Yes, thank you very much. Because you always need to make sure that those sentries will need to use all their force fields. And with the back to the rocks, the sentries will only have to use 3 or 4 force fields in order to be safe. And that's exactly why SaSe is moving that way. He's moving that units all across of that rock, and maybe, oh, well, let's have a look at there now. There are too many units. Now that's Twilight Council already. And DarKFoRcE is relying a lot on Zerglings this time. He already has roaches up coming as well, but still. +1 attack upgrade, roaches and a lot of Zerglings, just trying to sneak in, having a peek, and he will see all those stalkers and retreat. No, there's just no way he can win against that. But still, all those forces of SaSe are in a bad spot, so he can kill them, and that's exactly what he's doing right now, moving in with all those Zerglings, and the roaches are attacking from the back very well, and he needs to use all those force fields. He might be able to snipe it. Yeah, some additional Zerglings, but that's about it. And here they are, all of them are dying. The pylon is being killed as well. The stalkers that SaSe warped in up there are actually in a really, really good position, but still he can see them and is attacking them with the roaches, but blink will be done soon, and then the stalkers will be able to blink to safety. +1 attack upgrade is nearly done as well for the Protoss player, and well, the third base is safe, so DarKFoRcE actually was able to defend his third base. He's on 104 supply against 73. Let's have a glimpse at the numbers. 50 army supply against 28, 58 worker supply against 48. So that's quite a nice lead for DarKFoRcE right now. But still, he has a lot of Zerglings, and we need to look at the Protoss player's army. Blink will be done soon. Another chrono boost just hits the Twilight Council. We have +2 attack upgrade researched for SaSe, and in the main base, where is it? There's a gateway and a robotics facility being built. DarKFoRcE is waiting with all those units. He's getting the +1 attack upgrade for his ranged units, as well as the speed upgrade. He's researching Galil reconstitution once again, and now he might even be able to take out those stalkers. Yes, there it is, the mighty surround on the stalkers. DarKFoRcE, will he be able to kill them? Yes, I suppose he will. Oh, needs to be a little bit more careful with those links up there. And one stalker actually survives. Yep, blinks to safety. And there we go. So, pretty nice save, but still, it's 136 supply against 93. The income is in favor of the Zerg player, and the army as well. There's one Phoenix just scouting, and DarKFoRcE actually retreating with the Zerglings. But still, SaSe was able to catch on to that movement of the units, and now they will die to the Stalkers. There's no way he can defend against that army, or, well, basically escape by some miracle. We have the Burrow upgrade being researched. +2 is nearly done, as I already mentioned, and the Spire is actually on its way as well. So here are the Zerglings, and all the Zerglings are just being annihilated. Where's the blink? Nah, it doesn't even need it. But here comes the attack. But oh, and the wall in! Look at that! He's able to sneak a lot of Zerglings in, and is now attacking. Is attacking those zealots. The zealots are dead. And now what is the rest of the army of DarKFoRcE doing? He should have attacked. He should have just attacked. He was able to kill some units and, of course, give SaSe a small heart attack. SaSe must be like, what the fuck's going on? All those Zerglings, what is that lazy zealot doing? Son of... Oh, damn. I would be so angry with that zealot. If it wasn't already dead, I would kill it. Just because it didn't do its job. A 181 supply. That zealot will never be a bouncer. And here we go. The stalkers are moving in, and this might be the final fight. DarKFoRcE trying to sandwich the Protoss play. He's in a really good spot. He's in a really good position, but now he needs to be careful. The force field placed by SaSe are actually really, really well positioned. He needs to retreat. I don't think he has tunneling claws, does he? No, he doesn't. He should research it. He should research tunneling claw in order to be able to counter those force field, but there aren't entry sentries anymore. The sentries are all dead, and here's the blink micro of SaSe once again. Will DarKFoRcE be able to take that force out? He's on 160 supply against 97. Now SaSe is dropping way below 100 supply, and while the reinforcements, no more Stalker are being moved in. SaSe trying to escape with the Stalkers, and the rest of them just dies to DarKFoRcE's Roach army. Very, very well played by DarKFoRcE. I didn't like his approach. Well, at first his approach was really, really well done, but when the force fields started to pop up, he should have retreated a little bit earlier. I still think that it would be a wise decision for him to get the tunneling claw upgrade, but he didn't do so far, and actually he fares very well. So right now, adding that Hydralisk Den, getting a lot of Zerglings, the +1 armor upgrade, Infestation Pit, he is way ahead now, and he knows it. He's getting another base as well, a 4th base, and now SaSe trying to get the 3rd Nexus, and he is going, well, he's struggling a lot, to be honest. I mean, he's getting upgrades, he's on +2 attack upgrade, getting the armor upgrade as well, but look at that force. That's a tiny, tiny force. That's 53 army supply against 95, and DarKFoRcE still getting upgrades, getting the group spine upgrade in order to increase the range of his Hydralisks. +2 melee attack upgrade. And I don't think that SaSe will be able to take this game. But he might surprise us. He might surprise us once again. Still, he has to face an army that is so superior to his own that I don't know how he's going to try to win this, because he is actually lacking tech. He is lacking army supply. He's on 133 supply against 200. DarKFoRcE is maxed out and can now get a lot more upgrades. I think he should get the 2nd evolution chamber as well. Get the 2nd evolution chamber, maybe already get that Python glance upgrade. You have enough minerals, you have enough gas, so just get it for, well, just for fun's sake if you want, but just to prepare for the rest. There's the 2nd evolution chamber. Very, very nice. And here comes the attack. The Zerglings are trying to sneak into the main base. Very, very well. Really nice move. But the main army is trying to deal with those Roaches and Hydralisks. And SaSe is blinking like crazy, but he has to fight at 2 positions as well. He has to deal with an army, down here, and all those Zerglings are... His whole economy is just basically gone. It's basically gone, and SaSe GG's out of the game after losing his main force as well. Very, very well played by DarKFoRcE, and once again we see a 3rd game. Love it! Game number 5. Here we go. SaSe against DarKFoRcE. Last game of the 3rd King of the Hill of StarCraft World IT, powered by CM Storm, and this is going to be good. DarKFoRcE is facing SaSe on the 5th map on Xel Naga Caverns. And yeah, well, once again the German player was behind. He was able to take the 1st game of the series. He lost the next 2 and was then, taking the 4th game, Shakur's Plateau, won that map, and by quite a margin, I might say. He did really, really well. And SaSe just was a little bit too late with his timing to attack the 3rd base of his opponent, and after DarKFoRcE was able to defend the 3rd base, he was way ahead in this game. He had a good economy going, he had control over the map as well, and was just able to totally take SaSe apart. SaSe not going for a Colossi this game, and just try to defeat his opponent with Stalkers. And with the Stalker Sentry mixing it up a little bit with the occasional Immortal as well in order to kill the Roaches. But it wasn't enough. DarKFoRcE just had a way superior force and is starting at the top right now in this game, in this last match. Once again with a 14 Extractor, 14 Gas, and the pool will follow soon. And what is SaSe going to do? It's SaSe's choice. That map is SaSe's choice. He wants to play against DarKFoRcE on this map. And as you know, of course, it's always a little bit, well, Xel'Naga Caverns is a nice map, but still for a Protoss player, it's always a little bit annoying that your expansion is kind of far away and it's not that easy to defend when you just try to place that pylon down there and wall off. It's not that easy. There's a lot of space. It's similar to Metallopolis. And we have SaSe scouting the main base of DarKFoRcE. DarKFoRcE once again trying to get the 100 gas, probably pulling up his drones after that. And of course, SaSe really needs to do something else on this map. He needs to play a little bit different, is getting his cybernetics core. And the one thing that really surprises me is that DarKFoRcE, he didn't use any cheese, any all-in, any serious cheese or all-in play on in this best of 5. I would have expected him to go for 1-10 pool or 1-7 pool. He did that against Cass. I was expecting him to do that against Gravi already, but he didn't, and now he played kind of straightforward games against SaSe as well. So, yeah, pretty cool for us as viewers, but still, yeah, I kind of like that 6 pull against Cass, to be honest. It was kind of nice just to, yeah, just to get the occasional cheese in order to confuse your opponent a little bit and just tell him, okay, buddy, you really need to pay a little bit more attention. He's placing another pylon. He just cancelled one. Maybe he misplaced it. I have to admit that I didn't pay too much attention to the pylon, but he placed one pylon down there, either to trap the drone. I don't think that really happened, so probably he just misplaced his pylon, and after the Zealot got out, he cancelled one pylon and now is ready to, yeah, deal with that. Don't know why he would build a pylon there in order to block off completely, because he had that drone up there, was scouting, so probably just a misplacement by him. Okay, we have the speed nearly done. Drones, no drones in the extractor will be added again soon. Here we go. And the expansion is already on its way. What is SaSe doing? Getting that pylon at the bottom of the ramp once again. He's on two gateways, getting a second gate. Is he trying to get that 2-gate expansion once again? He tried that on Metallopolis as well, and it didn't work all that well for him. Yeah, he's really getting the Nexus quite fast. Once again, getting that 2-gate expansion and adding the 3rd gate after that. We have DarKFoRcE with his hatch ready as well, and once again, of course, hallucination being researched for the Protoss player in order to scout his opponent, and DarKFoRcE with the Roach Baron. So sticking to his tactic, he's still playing the same style he used on the last maps. He was a little bit more circling heavy on Shakira's Plateau, but was using Roaches and Hydras later on in the game once again without the tunneling claws, and just trying to kill his opponent with that basic force. Yeah, tech. Yeah, that's circling, just having a peek. And another gateway. Forge will be added fairly soon as well. He will be on 4 gates in a minute. And DarKFoRcE, let's have a look at the drone count. 34 against 29 so far. 2 queens. Not that much creep spread, a little bit. 1 active creep tumor right now, and still on tier 1. Will wait a little bit longer and then tech to the lair, and after the lair tech is done, or when the lair tech is about to be done, then he will get 3 additional Vespene geysers, and now he's just trying to scout a little bit. The Forge being built, I just mentioned it, getting the upgrades, already on 2 Vespene geysers, getting a 3rd one, and placing the Forge at the back. Should maybe just try to get something behind those bushes as well, maybe just a pylon. 2 pylons to wall off against any incoming circling attack. That's basically one of the main reasons why he lost the last game, because DarKFoRcE was able to sneak zerglings in his main base too. And here come 20 zerglings for the Protoss, for the Zerg player. And actually, is DarKFoRcE trying to do that Roach and Zergling? Well, not played as an all-in, but he's putting pressure on the Protoss player while expanding once again. So this might be quite interesting. I don't think that those units will be enough, but there are no cannons up just yet, and those Zerglings actually managed to attack. They stream in, the force fields are too late, and DarKFoRcE is building additional Zerglings. He's building a lot of Zerglings, and SaSe's main problem is he started off with a 2-base expansion. He doesn't have that many units, and look at that. Even though getting a third base, DarKFoRcE is able to break through the wall, and those two warp gates are unpowered. There won't be any additional units for SaSe out of those two gates, and this is basically GG. DarKFoRcE, the German powerhouse, taking the third king of the hill as well. The roaches are killing the stalker, the sentry, and there are not enough units. 32 supply, 29 supply now against 64. This is game. This is GG. SaSe trying to circle his wagons, but there is no way he can win this game. The units of the Protoss player getting annihilated, and once again, Mr. Comeback triumphs in this King of the Hill. This is just amazing. DarKFoRcE is on fire. 3 bases right now. Here comes the GG, and DarKFoRcE takes the StarCraft World IT King of the Hill number 3, powered by CM Storm. Congratulations. Very, very well played by the German Zerg player.